Hi, it's Rebecca, and welcome. By the way, I think I've learned to work the chat. So save your questions for the end, and I'll try to answer them. This is a message from Horus. Who's Horus? He's a falcon-headed god. You've all heard of the Eye of Horus. And I've been doing so much work lately on the pineal gland and realizing the importance of it. All my spiritual advisors are guiding me. Help people awaken their pineal. Help them cleanse. And Horus has a new spin on it, and I'm going to share it with you. By the way, he who rules the pineal rules humanity, because the pineal is truly a bridge to all worlds. There's an enormous statue of it in the Vatican, the pine cone. It's all in Egyptian mythology. The pineal has been looked over, and if you're here, I know it's because you're wanting to hear what Horus has to say. He says it may be the size of a pea, but it's the size of a universe in importance. Now, when he appeared to me just today and asked me to deliver this message, he just rocked my world. When I even felt his presence, I got an electrical jolt. It wasn't unpleasant at all, but I knew I was in the presence of a powerful light being. Here are some of his words. I wrote them down for you, and if he wants to add something in person, so to speak, as we go along, we will. And by the way, when I channel, I'm just me. They picked me because they must like Southern women. So there are things within the pineal that are interfering, and these can be dissolved. He's speaking of calcification and chemicals. The bigger blackmail or misalignment is to keep you in darkness, is the internal alignment of pinnacle particles. Now, he showed me a vision of this, and it's if things were going all cattywampus in there and not in alignment as the original blueprint intended. Horus continues. Think of a giant log jam. The water still manages to stream somewhat, but certainly not at optimal flow. It's not enough to simply decalcify. It's necessary to cause the inner contents of the pineal to realign as the original blueprint intended. Yes, the original beginnings of misalignment was orchestrated in ancient times by genetically altering certain neural pathways, and yet this was done by other species, even some elitists who experimented on their own race. Humanity has continued this obscenity against awareness. Don't you love the way he talks? By refusing to believe any times that rays of awareness that seeks to push through and begin the positive realignment. What he's speaking of here, my beloveds, is so many times when those rays of light start to come to us and we push it aside or say, well, show me some proof. Show me a sign. I don't believe it. And when that happens, we're like keeping the logjam going on. Horus continues. Now, why would we push aside the little ray of light trying to get through? And of course, he's not speaking of everyone. He's speaking of most of humanity. Because with heightened awareness comes what, my beloveds? More responsibility. Like me, you think I can keep my mouth shut now that Horus showed up in my room? Many who would be highly beneficial to themselves and humanity are targeted by the cabal, by mind control. These are young, mostly, potential leaders, mesmerized by computer games and TV shows, mesmerized by violence, damaging their pineals, putting it into even more misalignment. For every 4 hours spent concentrating vividly on a game or show, more misalignment within the pineal occurs. This has been engineered by the chaos energies of other species and the cabal within our own society to incapacitate the population as far as being in true awareness goes. A disoriented human will be easily controlled, and in fact is already being controlled. Within the periods of complete unconsciousness comes the perfect opportunity for the puppet masters to attach controlling entities to individuals. Many times, well, most times. An entity's sole purpose of attaching to a human is to keep one confused and unaware, to be the complacent sheep being led to the slaughter of your consciousness, being led to the slaughter of your abilities to ascend and evolve, and to be in the space that your soul is guiding you to be. If you're listening to this, my beloveds, I urge you to pay attention and stay tuned, because I'm going to give you some solutions. The forces of good have asked my assistance, this is Horus speaking, in freeing humanity from this debacle of unawareness. Having the courage to face the truth is the first step in regeneration and restoration of the pineal. Now, here's some questions to ask yourself. Do you feel confused about your purpose of being here? When you dare to think of expanding your consciousness and accepting more spiritual authority, do you become confused, overwhelmed, or fearful? When you see other great spiritual leaders, do you think they have something that you don't? And here's the greatest lie or misalignment of all, and that is that you are unworthy, undeserving. This brings tears to my eyes, that some of us have bought the lie that we are unworthy and undeserving. Now, most people want their pineal to be cleansed and awakened. Why? So they will attain greater psychic insight. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, I, Horus, say that the greatest benefit from regeneration of your pineal is that you will attain greater awareness, higher states of consciousness, and you will know without a doubt when a person, entity, or discarnate is seeking to manipulate you. The pineal is the bridge to all worlds, seen and unseen. Now here's some enemies of pineal function. Don't worry, I'm going to get you to the 5 steps, but I want you to have a greater understanding about your pineal than you ever have before. You probably know these toxins in the environment. Fluoride, we all know that one. Chemicals. And he wants to talk more about viewing harshness and violent acts. I'm going to speak a little bit more about it when I get into solutions. The most damaging, and I don't know if I've heard anyone talk about this, are electromagnetic fields that you were constantly exposed to. Electromagnetics negatively impact the function of your pineal gland. Staring at computer screens for long periods of time is disrupting. Watching long periods of TV is disrupting. Radiation in airplanes is disrupting. Of course, holding cell phones close to your hand. Think of all the electromagnetic waves that come towards you. Now, there's many things that can be done to reverse this, and most are far too intense to be given out with no supervision. For instance, the technique that Horus did with me this morning was so powerful. I would not do that for you on a video. How do I know you're not going to get in a car and go crash into a pine tree? It needs to be in a place where you're not going to do anything for a while. However, those are some techniques, but there's some safe techniques that I can tell you right now, and you can do them right now. So, here we go. Number 1, get any crystal. Crystals amplify, and a lot of this is done with the power of your intent. Now, I got a crystal like this. Whoops. Wow, it's so light colored. Let me put it up by my jack. There. Of course, I have crystals everywhere. So get any crystal and give it a name. Pineal shields, what I call mine. And touch it to your third eye. And set the intention that with this, you're sending positive magnetism through to your pineal gland. If negative magnetism messed it up, my beloveds, positive magnetism can't. Let's reverse engineer like they did when they found the parts in the UFOs. They reverse engineered. Send positive magnetism by your will through to your pineal to begin the healing. Now, another one. When you're going to work on a computer for a long time, and I have to do that myself, of course, there's certain screens that you can buy. You know you're going to be exposed to electromagnetism. Then you simply intend that your pineal be protected. If you got your handy crystal, you can touch it. Pineal, be protected. Shield the pineal. Energy obeys your command. It really does. I proved it with dowsing rods. Now, Much can be done by your command. And guess what? It's time to wake up and stand in your spiritual authority. You know what the biggest enemy of standing in your spiritual authority is? Guilt, or who are you? You haven't done enough work, blah, 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 blah. It's a big lie. When you realize that you want to have spiritual authority and that you are a spiritual being and you stand in your spiritual authority, you can give commands in a commanding voice and it will be so. Number three. This kind of surprised me, but it makes sense. Horus says, listen to whale songs. You can buy recordings of that in the background as you work. It is well known that these sonar and tones have the ability to break up calcification and tone the pineal. Number 4, use the power of visualization. See your pineal becoming cleansed and the internal pineal particles coming into alignment as was intended by the original blueprints. And it doesn't matter if you don't know what the proper alignment is. You can just visualize your pineal with divine order being brought into alignment, and it will begin the process. One thing Horus wants me to caution you, you did not get your pineal gland messed up overnight. It actually took many generations. So it's not going to be instantly completely pristine. You would have so much information, you would know what to do. At the rate that you're ready, doing these exercises, you will begin to open up, open up, open up. Now, number 5, I really like this one. Use the power of light. Light is encoded information. There is already created a stream of light intended for this very purpose. Call that stream of light to you and stream it through your pineal. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, I'll help you right now. I'll say it slowly and you can repeat after me. Here we go. I command the strand of light, repeat that, most beneficial for healing my pineal, to stream through my cranial cavity and into my pineal now. And it is so. Now, Horus wants me to add another thing about so much violence. The wiring of your pineal is wired to the visual cortex, just like your eyes are. When you see violence on TV and oh my, what's done to our youngsters with the violence in the games, they're actually becoming accustomed to the violence. But it causes emotions. It causes triggers in the amygdala. Your pineal has a consciousness, and your pineal is absorbing those negative emotions. And guess what? Any entities or chaos energies around you are having a field day because they've got some delicious, good, fearful food to eat. So I caution you to be careful what you're watching. Be in awareness. Is this going to expand my consciousness for the good? Or is this gonna feed the chaos energies? Let's wake up. Let's wake up. If it doesn't feel good to your heart, it sure doesn't feel good to your pineal. So Horus wanted me to add that one thing. And then what Horus is proposing, these are some easy exercises for those who want to really get into an accelerated rate. He is proposing that we create an army of light workers trained in these advanced techniques, specific, and then go among the populace, setting people free. Now, here's a wonderful thing. When enough of us do this work on our pineal and get that realignment, get that decalcification, we create our own magnetism. And even as we go among other people, the magnetism from our pineal will contact the pineal of others, and it will be like the 100th monkey syndrome. It's not necessary for every single person to do all this work, because guess what, beloveds? You know that every single person is not going to do that. But as we ascend, the leaders are going to carry those with us simply by our magnetism and our heart and our love. Now, here's what Horus says. In ancient times, initiates would spend years in preparation to be able to perform such service in advanced techniques. And due to the acceleration of time and the urgency of ascension, essential training can be done in days. Now, advanced technologies would be for those who are really serious and perhaps who wanted to have a career in helping others with their pineal gland function to become more psychically aware, but most of all, my beloveds, to become more conscious and to rid yourself of parasitic energies and to be an aware human. Now, if you have questions, I think the chat box is open. I will check it, and I don't see any, but if the chat is not working, you can leave your question in the comment section, and I will go after class and read it. If you'd like more information on maybe some more advanced techniques and training, you can email me, Rebecca at RebeccaMarina.com, or I'll have a link here that you could explore that. But for now, to these 5 techniques that Horus has given us, you may say, but they seem so simple. But beloved, some of the most wonderful things are some of the most simple things. If you like this kind of information, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. I'll be back very soon with another video for you. God bless. And thank you to my new friend Horus.